This episode is sponsored by Falcon Northwest. If you are looking for a kick-ass and reliable work or gaming PC, head over to falconnorthwest.com and configure the rig of your dreams. In this episode of The Full Nerd, we talk about the best PC hardware of 2023. Welcome to episode 283 of The Full Nerd, PC World's premier podcast for PC hardware. I am your fill-in host, Adam Patrick Murray, and today I am joined by co-host Brad Charkis. Hello, Brad.
Hello, Internet. Hey, Adam.
Hey, and Elena Yee is joining as well. Hi, Elena.
Hello, everybody.
And luckily, we were able to snag some time with Gordon Maung himself. Hello, Gordon.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? I'm hanging out here at the Firehouse. This is actually in Portland. There's a New York one, and there's actually a firehouse you can rent in Portland. That's like a mock-up of the firehouse in New York. So
nice.
Awesome.
For audio listeners, he's all rigged out in Ghostbusters gear. So
yeah, it's actually our Ghostbusters. My wife decided we should do family coordinated pajamas, so we have Ghostbusters onesies, which is what I'm wearing now.
So cute.
nice.
It's actually really warm too. It's really quite nice. But it's actually too warm right now. I just have a fan on because we cranked the fan up this morning. It was like 80 degrees.
Well, I'm glad we have you here because today is a very special episode. We always do this at the end of every year. It's the best of PC hardware of 2023, and this is the second to last episode of the year. Unfortunately, we can't do it live this year. We had to reserve some time with Gordon, and I'm glad to have him. But I did get some feedback over on the fine folks at Discord. Did get in their picks. So first up, I want to go over a couple of the rules and then also the categories. I'll start with the categories. So we got 5 categories this year. First up is best CPU. Second is best GPU. Third is best accessory. Fourth is best innovation. And fifth is worst trend. So essentially the stuff we've been doing every year. So this should be fun. And then the rules are that hopefully the item that we're talking about came out in the calendar year of 2023. I feel like we've broken those rules in the past, and who knows if there's a major argument for something that came out last year that really impacted this year, then maybe we can hear it.
See.
But that's the other thing. This is the Full Nerd. This is our consensus of PC hardware. This is not PC World's. PC World already has an article. You can go. I linked to it in the description, so you can go check it out over there. But this is the Full Nerd crew, and you get to see in real time or listen to us argue about our pick and award the best of the best. So, any other notes before we get started? No?
So, because we typically do this in December. Mm-hmm. So the calendar year thing always kind of throws us for a loop sometimes because launches are not always.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I just want to see because if there's rules, then
Gordon wants to see what he can get us on for technicalities.
Also, we are recording this before Meteor Lake or Core Ultra processors launch. So even though we're mostly focusing on desktop hardware, that could have been a consideration, but because of the timing, it's not. I think that's the only last major release of the year, hopefully.
Yeah.
But let's dig into it because we got some debating to do. First up, let's talk about the best CPU of 2023. And Gordon, you've reviewed plenty of CPUs in your day, so would you like to kick us off? And I'd love to hear your pick.
I had to really think about this one really hard. So we launched. So Meteor Lake 8000 series, whatever is rumored to be coming from AMD doesn't count yet. So I really looked at this. For mobile, it doesn't seem like there was a lot of the same movement. So I really looked at desktop parts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because I really was like, well, do I count 13 gen? Because 13 gen was a very late launch. Too, right? I mean, it was like last quarter. I think it was like November. I really should Let's make sure.
October, I thought.
Is that October?
For 13th gen desktop, was towards the end of last year. But don't worry, because 14th gen launched, which was essentially a 13th gen refresh. So if you want to nominate 13th gen, then 14th gen is a good stand-in.
October
so
2022.
The retail, it went on sale in October, so that's damn near November. You could arguably say that was a 2023 part. And
It's already begun.
no, I mean, because really, how could you?
Somebody could argue.
Did we consider it last year for best? What was it? What did it end up being?
we
best?
did.
We did consider
We
it.
absolutely did.
So I mean, you kind of get like 2 bites of the apple for it, but I mean, obviously, 14th gen is launched, and the reception has been like, well, it's basically not that much better than 13th gen, except for that i7 part, which is pretty awesome. But I just was like trying to think, like, what do I even count? Because it really was 13th gen, 14th gen, and that brackets for either legitimate launch. So I basically wrote down my pick, but the reception for it wasn't that well received either. So 7000 X3D parts launched last year, or this year. They were pretty solid, like early, right, first quarter.
Spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that's like that and 14th gen are the really only kind of like big launches. 14th gen, the reception has been I didn't review it myself. Adam did the testing, but I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where, it was kind of like a little disappointing because not everything was ready to go for the launch. I could feel it. It was definitely not ready. Everything wasn't ready for the launch. So, like, for me, I just have to justify this because I'm I've mainly reviewed CPUs for 25 years now, it feels like. So what do I consider? I mean, I think it's going to have to be, and I always pick one CPU rather than a series, but I'm going to say 7950X3D would be my pick. I personally thought it was a great CPU. It was a really good attempt to try to bridge both worlds because you had one die with stacked cache, you had one without. The internet, of course, as we know, freaked out, and everybody said it was horrible. You're screwing me on this. The reception was completely opposite of what I expected, to be honest. I mean, I knew it wasn't. It didn't. And then again, this is why I'm like, well, does 13th gen still count? Because 13th gen 7950 didn't close the door. 7950X3D did not close the door on 13900K, I would say. There were still a lot of compelling reasons to want to buy that Intel 13th gen part. So I'm really kind of torn. And I don't want an APU to win because I don't think there was anything that was like that was there. So I really do think.
Oh, you wait, Gordon.
I think I would have to say 7950X3D with a very, very close, shout out, because I mean, I know people are going to go, 14th gen was a disappointment, but if you're going to go to you're going to go to Micro Center right now and you're going to buy a 13th gen or 14th gen, I'm going to recommend you buy the 14th gen. There's no reason to buy 13th gen at this point. So
I mean, unless you can get a real good deal.
Unless it's a really good deal.
Deals.
There are some good deals, but I just think people have to realize that they are, for the most part, very similar CPUs. And if you're buying that i7 part, you're getting more than you got previously. But this is not a great endorsement, right? But I'm going to say Ryzen 9 7950X3D. You really did get really awesome gaming. You got really awesome, multi-core performance. 7950 non-X3D was a little faster. I mean, it's just so weird, right? But I'm going to say 7950X3D is my pick with a very close second for, if I had to pick a part, Core i7, the Core i7 14th gen part. So that'd be my pick. And it just kind of shows you it's not quite as bad as that year we had the 10-core launch with Broadwell E.
Yeah.
Where
we had no winner.
We picked nothing. Nobody won because it was $1,723 for that 10-core Broadwell E part. Not that, and on these. I mean, we're not even close to that. These are really.
No.
I mean, if I had a 13th gen, 14th gen, any 7,000 Ryzen 7000 part, I would be stoked. So, I think that's ridiculous for people to be like, I'm disappointed. These are really fantastic CPUs. They're way better than anything that came before them. So, I definitely think it's not as awesomeness of like say Ryzen 5000, but X3D was a very good part and misunderstood by the internet. But that's my pick. That's my rationale for it, because you got to go through all the mental exercise with why you want something to be the best, right?
I like it. Well, and also that falls in line with what I was thinking you were going to pick, Gordon. So
yeah,
I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's predictable, I guess.
I can keep
Brad?
it easy. My thought process totally mirrors Gordon's. I think the 14th gen Intel parts, Intel went from 14 nanometer plus, and now they're just 14 plus. So to me, like you said, that left it down to the X3D parts and the Intel, which I'm not going to pick. I was actually debating back and forth between the 7800 X3D and the 7950 X3D, simply because the 7800 X3D didn't have all those teething issues. But I think once you get past that, we are past that now, and once you look past that and try to truly comprehend what the 7950 X3D brought to the table, it is the first CPU, in my opinion, in recent memory that delivers fantastic flat-out gaming and still gives you fantastic flat-out rendering stuff, even though it takes a little bit off the top compared to the base part. So to me, that's the clear winner. Most expensive part of the year is the best.
Yeah, and I definitely did not want a 7800 X3D to win, because I just think it's I think that narrative. No, I just
wow.
don't. I don't agree with the narrative.
You actively do not want it to win.
I do not want it, because it goes against the whole narrative of we have to admit, because I obviously I heard the protest there, but gamers are very important to the PC. They move a lot of computers. Gamers, there are other people who use PCs to do things. There are people who legitimately need more cores. 8 cores is pretty good for gaming box. But I will tell you, it is getting to the point where if you do anything other than gaming, and even for some gaming tasks, 8 cores is we're getting to that point where like 8 cores is getting a little outdated, I would say, at this point. So I'm preloading that, because I'm going to guess somebody here is going to pick
Gordon
a
needs all the
7800
cores.
X3D.
Gordon needs all the cores.
Well, as long as it's not a 5800 X3D.
I think this is going to be super interesting, Adam, because I don't know if you're going to be speaking for the people, but I also spoiled it for myself when I took a look at what the people were saying, and I think the people have a lot to say in pushback to it, what you just put on the table there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead, Adam. It looks like
sure.
you're gonna...
Elena's going to do the... She
wants to wait to the end.
She's going to wait to the end.
That's what she always does.
I'm ready. I can go. I just thought Adam's
race.
Asim has been traditionally the voice of the people, and I didn't want to steal that role.
No. I mean, I have my thoughts. The voice of the people, I think, are more of like a tiebreaker. They don't get equal footing as the four of us.
No,
but,
I know.
If we need to, we can use it as a tiebreaker. I've got my own thoughts. So, Elena, I would like to hear yours. Go ahead.
So, this is actually the reason I brought up the whole talking about the people thing is because my choice I thought was super interesting, because as I was going through what they were saying, and can I spoil this now, Adam? Should I wait?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
No.
So almost unanimously, they chose the 7800 X3D.
Almost unanimously.
And almost unanimously. And I thought the most well-reasoned...
That's Gordon sipping on a water.
And one of the most well-reasoned, I thought arguments for it was that just the amount of performance you're getting out of, a single CCD, right, for gaming performance in and of itself, I think is what is really captivating them. They're not looking at it from the perspective of how much raw horsepower do I have, and I don't think it's even just necessarily that they're going at it from a gaming only perspective. They're just saying, what does this chip do and how well does it do it? And Gordon's giving the stare. And I took that, and I actually came up with my own choice before I saw theirs, but I actually ended up being on the side of the one dissenting voice out of 40.
I think there was 2.
Yeah. Okay. So Adam already knows what I'm going to pick probably because of this.
Yeah.
I am actually going with the 5600 X3D, which you can only get from Micro Center. And I'm not going to say that I'm choosing this because I'm hoping it becomes wider spread than this, but I actually think if you look at the numbers, it's really impressive to me what you can get out of a chip that is ostensibly something that can be used as an upgrade on an existing AM4 system, but also in and of itself delivers a lot of value. And look, at this point, like I know what my role is on the Grey Council. So a lot of value.
You don't have to be handcuffed into that. You could pick a
just saying-
14900K or that i7 part is like, wow. More
I'm just
cores,
saying though,
same
to me, the fact that you can get within, I think if you look at it as like a step down from the 7800 X3D's performance in gaming, at 1080p, it's about a 15% step down. At 1440p, it's like an 11% step down. And you're spending at least $150 less.
Like almost half the price.
Yeah, like so if you are somebody who really wants really strong performance, and again, coming at it from this angle of looking at like what does this chip do? Like what does it give you? And what can you do with it? Not necessarily is it the biggest, baddest chip on the market, but how does it move this needle for this in this way that we haven't really seen as much of? And honestly, at this point, and I kind of spoilers for later, given the trends that we've seen, I am very disappointed in how we're not getting a lot of representation across the spectrum of PC gaming or like PC usage and building. So for me, that's why I ended up going with my stereotypical position of representing the workers on the Grey Council.
Which I will say, I think we need to pause here real quick because I think we do this every year. I should have included this in the front. Best is subjective. Does best mean literally the fastest, most performant thing you can get, or is best the best price to performance, or best does that equal like the most sales? I think we all come at the word best a little bit differently. So I will throw that out there.
And with that in mind, I will say that while the 5950, was it 5950? Oh gosh, 5950 X3D part, right? That's the one that you both
7950 X3D.
79, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I'm awake yet.
What year is it?
I know. I'm not awake yet. My brain thought it was saying one thing. My mouth did something entirely different with the words. So that's great if you have something that you need to throw that many cores at. But realistically, in the consumer space, how many of those people exist versus, well, we call them the masses for a reason, right? So just gonna throw that out there.
I see where you're coming from. Always the famous start before I start to argue with you. But to me, the cool thing about the 7950 X3D is that it's new. It pushes the boundaries. We've had this chat in the past before when, a bunch of other things are similar. I tend to lean towards, hey, what's doing something new and cool? And to me, that's the 7950 X3D. But more than that, well, I could get behind what you're saying if it was a wider release. The fact that it was Micro Center only, and the fact that it was only in-store Micro Center only, so I couldn't even order one and have it shipped to my house, that kind of nukes that for me. It's hard to say it's for the people if you just you have to be within driving distance of one of the 20 Micro Centers.
Yeah,
They are
And also
expanding.
hurts. I do wish it was more widely available for sure.
And for people who aren't up on current events, the AMD basically surprised people by coming out with this low core count X3D part for AM4. The rumors are there were fewer than 10,000 parts, if that, and they all went to Micro Center because they needed a way to get rid of these parts. The theory is these are dies where a couple cores didn't make it and they pushed them out to Micro Center. Although I've heard people say that theory makes zero sense because I think Paul Alcorn over at Tom's Hardware, and I don't know if Paul actually said this, so hopefully I got it right, but I think he said that, or somebody who knows, keeps closer eyes on the process, the cache is done near the end. So the argument is like, no, these are not sort of like bad parts. These were intentionally done by AMD as an experiment, and I think that was one of the arguments. But it is AM4. It is essentially outdated. You have no path forward. With AM5,
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Well, but AM5, you can go to Ryzen 8000, right? Ryzen 9000.
Yeah, maybe even go to 9,000. Or
With
over
Ryzen,
9,000.
with this old ass Ryzen 5, you're stuck. You're basically in a dead platform. So to me, a lot of that doesn't
wrong
make
with
any
that.
sense. And again, and this is why I mentioned it earlier. 2/3 of, and no one knows. And I will tell you, I've never met any analyst or anybody who really knows what the actual market is for the breakdown between gamers and enthusiasts and just sort of like, people are into computers and all that stuff. My general theory is it's about 2/3 because gaming is very, very big for PC gaming. At the same time, creators, Blender is a complete open source project that is basically used by people who have no money, right? There are a lot of these budget movie makers that are building these, poor nerds Threadripper boxes by using 16-core consumer parts because they can't afford a Threadripper. So they are relying on these things. There's a real market there. It is much smaller. It is very important to the PC as well because this is the reason why I have problems with people who thought the 5800 and the 7800 and this new 5600 X3D part are so awesome is because these are basically just to fill a slot to sell to people that don't want to pay for more cores, right? It doesn't encourage these companies it doesn't encourage people to go for newer innovations, right? When you push the envelope, when your competition comes out and clocks you in the face and you're like, damn, we lost. You're not losing because they have this part made for mainstream gamers and they're really killing us on that. I mean, who gets excited about that? It's hard to get excited about that. So as far as a best category.
So I just want to say, first off, that I want to put a pin in this. I want to put it on record for future years that any time Gordon nominates an Intel chip, which historically has not had much life beyond maybe one generation or two for, motherboard sockets. We get to say that's a dead platform. That's a dead platform. We get to
12,
say
13,
that.
and 14th this time.
Yeah, but you also said 14th wasn't a big deal compared to 13th. You can't have it both ways on this one.
You can. I would say. I mean, unfortunately, I was out of pocket for this entire launch, so I don't even really know what the hell was going on. But 14th gen clearly was something that wasn't ready on when they launched it. There are some things. A lot of features that, I've been through some of these Intel launches where like, damn, this is like really not nailed down. It's like there's basically Scotch tape holding stuff together. And this feels like the fact that you didn't get APO at launch and it's really just a tech demo. I agree with all the criticism that it is really a tech demo at this point with 2 games. But there's a lot of really cool things. Power savings, you get APO. There are some things that if they had like another 2 months, it felt like it would have been a stronger launch. It wouldn't have been awesome. It wouldn't have been incredible, but it could have been this part that could have pushed high clock RAM. It could have pushed, 20% higher performance. We still don't even know how the damn thing works, right? This APO stuff. I want to know how it works. APO could have been pretty incredible. There are some things that could have made it better, but as is what we have in our launch that was launched is like, it's really 13th gen all over again.
It exists.
I'm just saying, realistically, not many people are going to be upgrading from 12th gen to 14th gen. If that gets you that's your 3rd generation, right? Like 2-generation jump, like realistically. So I feel like you're still looking at assuming.
So upgrades don't matter anymore then? Elena?
I'm just saying you can't have it both ways, Gordon. I'm just
Which is
making
what
a
you're trying to
for
do
the
right
future.
now.
No, you don't get to turn this back around on me.
No, because AM4, you got I don't know, you could put a 35-year-old AMD CPU in there, probably still works, right? It's just it was isn't that
convenient.
Isn't that what everybody was
up?
up on the mountain screaming about for years and years and years? Like AM4 is the most incredible thing. And now it doesn't matter. You're just kind of like saying upgrades.
There are still people buying AIM-4 out there.
They are. No, I mean,
just
there's
saying.
plenty of reasons to buy AM4. I mean, for price to performance, it's really hard to be beat. And also
And for
Intel,
stability, I
12
will
to
say
13.
stability is a huge thing. Like to be able
Yeah.
to get in on an old, stable platform, sure, it's not sexy, but man, if you need stability to get your work done, hell yes.
5,000
I would
more
still
stable
go.
than 7,000. I guess I'd have to use a long term.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm gonna have to give it a. This makes me think I need to just like sit down and over this little break I'm having. I've forced myself to use like a Mac for like a month. So
Wait.
yeah, no. And
Wait,
it's,
are you nominating
terrible.
the M3? Is that what you're saying?
My reaction is yeah. I don't want to. We don't really have to go there right
Yeah.
now. But it was like yeah, no. It doesn't. It's still not going to work for me. I just think that I don't know if I would say 5,000 was without stability issues. Early on, it wasn't this.
I'm not saying it's without. I'm
talking
just
about
saying
now.
right now,
Talking about
people
now.
buying into it right now.
Oh, sure.
it
But
is-
I think
so.
I don't think I would use the word reliable. And there's a lot of people who buy Intel because it's more reliable,
Well, that's
right?
true.
I mean, Intel, they generally have things locked down. You don't hear about the issues. Now, of course, all that is anecdotal. But I would say I wouldn't say the term is reliable. I would say mature. It's a more mature platform, so things are more hammered out. But if you had one of those boards that had the USB issues,
Yeah.
or you had problems with your TPM,
Yeah.
right?
Can I
So-
actually, before you go, Adam, I actually have
Yeah.
one other thing I want to
Please,
insert here,
please.
just for people to keep in
I'm
the
gonna
back of their
stop. I'm gonna
heads.
stop.
When Gordon said the whole like, we need to be always pushing the envelope. We need to have companies innovate. I think that's great, but when there's no balance, we haven't gotten to it yet. But there's the GPU side of things where it's like, yeah. 4090 is great. People duking at the top, super great. Everybody's like, that's nice, but I have no graphics card to upgrade to. So it can be dangerous to put too much weight in one direction. Is all
Well,
I'm
but-
saying. So part of my point, the reason why I'm focused on the midsection value, especially this year, is because there's been so little attention paid to it in the past few years. Not as
I'm
evenly as thoroughly.
Gonna disagree. I'm gonna
Sorry,
strongly
Adam.
disagree.
It's gonna be another
there.
15 minutes.
I just want to say
We'll get to
'cause
my pick at some point.
My problem is I can't let it stand because I think that's an unfair point.
It's a personal affront.
I don't understand how anybody look. Let's be honest. It's a shitty situation with GPUs. It's been a shitty situation with GPUs for 5 years now. It's been
We're
this
not there
roller
yet.
coaster ride for 5 years. I'm sick of it. Everybody's sick of it. That is not the case with CPUs. Don't take what's going on with GPUs and apply that to CPUs. If you are a gamer, a PC gamer, or if you basically you're an enthusiast, you need high cores at a good deal that you're not really paying HEDT prices for, it has been an incredible ride. Intel and AMD, because they have been in a battle for the last 6 years now, 7 years, it has given gamers and people in budget positions the best crop of mainstream CPUs we've ever seen in my entire life of covering this. So that's why I would say I would disagree. GPUs, yeah, that's all kinds of a mess. Sucks. I hate it. CPUs, you can go and get a 5600 X3D and AM4 from Micro Center. You can still get 5,000 parts. You can still get Alder Lake parts. In the old days, because Intel was so good at making old CPUs vanish with those ET cartridges, you couldn't buy old series of CPUs. Go out and try to buy an 8th gen CPU now. You'll be paying more for an 8th gen CPU than a 12th gen CPU, which is insane.
For sure.
And and I just don't see how, again, that's why it doesn't wash. If anybody's like belly aching about gamers suffering and we got to pay attention to they only pay attention. That's all they ever do is they do. So I
I'm
think
just-
that's on
I think
CPUs. they're well serviced, I say.
I think you're talking about, so I think you're kind of flipping back and forth between theoretical versus actual, which is a little slippery of you. So I think when you were talking about the whole, like, we got to push the envelope constantly, that's in theory, right? In reality, it's like, maybe you don't have to. Like, I also think that saying that you're just filling a slot when you talk about mainstream chips is a disservice to the entire stack. But and then flipping around saying in reality that everyone's enjoying everything, so it's great. So I think it's just like we're just threading a little fine here. That's all.
I'm not gonna go
Adam,
too far
we'll
into
get to
it.
you.
Yeah. We had a talk
Should
recently
not
on one
quit.
of these episodes of the Full Nerd that I was on, where someone was asking in the Q&A section, what should they get for a budget build? And we all talked about how, hey, there's never been a better time to get budget gaming CPUs because everything's good. A Ryzen 3 kicks butt. Intel 3 kicks butt. Yeah, you could get more frame rates with an i5 or an i7, but those base level ones can scratch your itch quite well. And I'm not going to go into all this again, but just to echo what I started when I gave my picks for this, my thoughts once again 100% Mira Gordon's.
I'm just saying, and it's not. You're basically as a people who are making up this prestigious award that nobody cares about. I
What are you
want to
talking about?
reward.
Everybody
I want to
cares.
reward people who take risks, and when you're taking a risk, that's to me is something that in this industry of technology, when you take a risk, you should get some acknowledgement. It doesn't mean you go run out and everybody should buy it, but you do have to acknowledge that, yeah, they you know what? They swung for the fences. And you got to give them credit for that. Whereas like, hey, let's make some of these mainstream APU gaming parts and sell them in a box. Okay, I mean, to me, that's just business. That's not the same as, that's not really much of a risk, is it? So I don't think, that's why I feel like I want to reward things that take risks,
I'm not going to say anything, Adam, because it really should
Yeah.
be your turn now.
All right, I'll talk now. Thank you. Just kidding. No. So coming into this, so I actually have some runners up that I'm going to get to. I will say the Z1 Extreme that came out this year was, I would say, a risk on AMD's part, but it is awesome. Has powered a lot of awesome handhelds. I know I'm the handheld person here, so I'm not pushing for it, but I do want to give it a call out. The Z1 Extreme is awesome. The second shout out would be for Elena's pick of the 5600 X3D, because I think that is pretty damn awesome, that you can still get 6 great Ryzen 5000 stable cores on a mature platform with that 3D V-cache and still get some really good benefit from it. Yeah, where I knock it is more the availability thing. Like, I wish it was a wider spread release. I mean, it's actually still available for sale, so I don't know if that means that they had more stock than they expected, or it just isn't selling through. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, when it comes to my picks, I was stuck between two of them. So one of them is that 7950 X3D, because for the same reason you guys were talking about. It's awesome part. I mean, 16 cores, one of them with 3D V-cache. I really do think it was like the best of both worlds kind of thing, which is, something that should be awarded. And I know there was a lot of confusion, but I do think a lot of people who were able to use it and kind of get past that, I haven't seen any problems with people reporting like, oh, you know what, went to the wrong CCD, or, this or that kind of thing. For the most part, it's working as intended, so I appreciate that. My other side, though, is for the 7800 X3D, because when I was doing the testing for 14th gen, I'm kind of cheating. I have my charts up here. For the games that I tested which were mostly at 1080p, the 7800 X3D was right there with the 7950 X3D. So, not only was it like right there with a more expensive chip for gaming, in some places it actually beat it. And I'm not quite sure why, but there were a couple of instances of the 7800 X3D actually doing better than the 7950 X3D. And then when I look over at the content creation side, I mean, in things like more, like I understand more core workloads like Blender, Handbrake, Cinebench, things like that. 8 can't keep up with 16, but for Adobe products, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, that 7800X 3D is not, doing half the performance of the 7950X 3D. So in my mind, now that I speak this out, I actually think I want to go with the 7800X 3D because like you're not getting half the performance on actual real world applications like Adobe. And for gaming, you're either matching the 7950X 3D or in some cases even surpassing it. So like 8 cores in 2023 are not 8 cores that they were 10 years ago. Like 8 cores are awesome. And I would say totally enough for the people who are out there. And yeah, there are reasons to get more cores for damn sure, or higher clock parts like over on Intel. But I would say generally the 7800X 3D is like, man, it's just hard to beat. It's just hard to beat.
I agree with that. I think that is a better pick for a value pick than the 5600X 3D, to be honest. Like that's the reason I was flip-flopping between the two of those. And personally, if I was shopping for a computer, I would get the 7800X 3D. But the reason I decided to go with the 7950X 3D is one, because like I said, I really like people doing new things. This is new. It's not just the latest is fastest. They're doing completely new dual chiplet, dual CCD things with Core Cache. They're pushing the envelope forward. I like to see that. And two, last year's winner was the 5800X 3D. And the 7800X 3D is basically that, but just, the next gen model. It's just a little faster, So I love it. It's a great part. It's a great value part. Heartily recommend it to anybody building a gaming PC. But to me, the 7950X 3D gets the nod because it's doing something new.
Yeah,
also I'll put in there right quick. I remember when there was all that talk of like, oh, why aren't you making a 5950X 3D? You just put Vcache on 2 CCDs, and then, man, I remember at CES when they showed us that part in a pre-brief, they were like, oh, hey, the Vcache is only on 1 CCD, and we were like, what? Why? And then as they kind of talked about it, I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I actually kind of dig that. And of course, yeah, the internet did not like that. They wanted to see, Vcache on both sides. But yeah, I would call that a risk. And then, yeah, I do appreciate it.
Wouldn't you like, I mean, I guess one of the problems I also have with the 7800X 3D pick, like the 5800X 3D part, it's just kind of boring. Don't you think? So predictable. Don't you think
boring
it's kinda,
to you, maybe, but for the people who can get that performance at that price, that's not boring at all. That's exciting.
But
I guess
this is like what I was saying, man. It's just the last year's pick, but newer. Like to me, this.
I mean,
it's a
Ryzen
great
7000 is. I mean, all across the board, Ryzen 7000 is damn good parts over the 5000 parts. So
yeah. No, they are heads and shoulders above the 5,000 parts of performance to multi-core, single core. So,
sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I mean, I actually, the thing is, I was like, actually, man, I could almost get behind Z1. Like, I was like, you know what? If you want to talk about a part that really came out of nowhere, upset everybody, has created an entirely new field of PC gaming. And clearly this is PC gaming. This is not just console handheld stuff. This is PC gaming in your hand. The Z1 has enabled that, and AMD has been, has led that. And if you want to think of the impact, the 7000X 3D parts are going to have less impact than the Z1 will, right? I almost could I thought
it was a good shout out when he brought it up too.
That is a really good pick because I mean it's created an entire new category of computing. Everybody wants to get in here, right? I'm sure we're going to see an Intel based one. I'm sure somebody's going to try to jam an NVIDIA GPU into one of them. who knows? Maybe that NVIDIA ARM GPU thing will go into a handheld gaming device. So, and a lot of this is because it would never have happened except that Z1 has made it possible. Whereas, previous, Ice Lake couldn't get it done, Tiger Lake couldn't get it done. This looks like, a new category of gaming, and we'll feel the effects of this in 5 years more than we will X3D, it feels like.
I will say it's not that different from a Ryzen 7000 mobile chip, the 4070 series. I'm sorry, 7040 series. But
it's all
does
sort of part of it, though. It's AMD's
part of it. Yeah. So I mean that mobile strategy is still something that is for this year.
And it was high risk too. You think about it, it's very risky. Steam Deck was a risky launch, and it worked out, right? So, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I will say just so it's set out there, like Elena said, 99% of the picks for best CPU in our Discord are for the 7800 X3D. So.
That doesn't matter to me.
Well, it does actually. No. Hold on, though, because actually, if you three stay the same and I change my vote to align with Adam's, that means we have a tie. And the tiebreaker, as you all know, and Brad knows this the best, the tiebreaker goes to the chat. So
I get. It should be a popular chip. It should be a popular chip. Like it is. It's like to me, but again, it doesn't. It's the same as last year's winner, but just a little better. Like the difference between the LG C2 TV that everyone loves and the LG C3 TV that everyone loves is minuscule. It's just like, it's just the next year's new Virtual. I mean, again, Ryzen 7 is more than that, but
doesn't mean it can't be the best. Doesn't mean it can't be the best.
Right. And also, I do want to, I think there is something, for me personally, I'm very curious to understand from both Brad and Gordon here, because I think, at least for me, I think when I listen to you both talk about this, I think there's a kind of security that you have in like seeing like, oh yeah, like same old, right? Because you kind of expected that, like that's kind of what you just figured would be there in terms of a successor. From like my perspective, this 3D Vcache stuff is still pretty new. And to me, it was actually quite exciting that they continued with it. I know they said that they had more coming, but we didn't really know what shape that was going to take because the 5800 X3D was the only part they released for Ryzen 5000. It was kind of a teaser almost, right? Mm-hmm. So we didn't really know what shape it was going to come out
that was a true experiment.
Yeah, that was a true experiment. So, I mean, definitely why it took such a top spot last year in our nominations and ultimately our awards. But for me, even seeing that they plan to continue with this, like establishing it as a thing was exciting in some ways because it meant like this is something you can start to count on as something like a strategy of theirs that they're not just going to kind of abandon. And I can see the arguments within this range, right? Like the top chip versus the 7800 X3D. But I do think that maybe part of the difference in perspective is that like now we've got second gen. So like if you were holding out because you weren't quite sure about wanting to be on AM4, as Gordon pointed out earlier, right? Like I know there were people who said like, hey, 5800 X3D is cool, but I don't want to be on a dead platform. To use Gordon's words. Now you have the 7800 X3D and it's like, okay, boom, like my dream is fulfilled. And I think that, I can't speak for what 15 odd people in our Discord server, but I do think that might be some of what's influencing them, why it was so unanimous. Like I have never seen our group that in harmony with each other. They love to debate.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. 3D Vcache is still new and novel and awesome to me. And that's why I nominated the 7950 X3D.
Because they're doing more with it. That's why. Because for you, like they're doing more with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because they did more with it on the 7950 X3D, which is awesome. But then when they did more with it on the 7900X, that one was like, okay, that one, not quite sure where that landed. But they did take a risk on both of them. One I think paid off. The other one is like, I'm not quite sure who that's for. So.
What's the best attribute of 7800 X3D?
The best attribute of the 7800
Yeah,
X3D?
why is it the people's choice this year for everybody?
There's
Once
some
again,
pretty good commentary.
yeah,
Let me see if
I can
scroll
tell
down.
you
there's good
why.
commentary if you
Because
can bring
it's
it up.
for the cheap seats. Because it's
No,
it's
it's
a more
not.
affordable.
No,
It's-
no,
it's
it's not.
300 and like street price is 370. It launched at what, like 450? It's not for the people. It's just
It offers excellent gaming performance, like top notch gaming performance, for a good price. It's an excellent value that
Price.
delivers top
Price.
notch performance.
Value.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Price,
come
value.
on, like
Price,
look at
value.
this. I mean, it is crazy. Like I'm looking at the charts that I made in my testing. The 7800 X3D beat the 14900K, which was
Yeah.
double the price in 1, 2, 3,
Oh, yeah.
4.
It ruined the
Oh,
Intel launch.
yeah.
Like that one part ruined a lot of the Intel launch.
Yeah, so it's just
Context
like
matters,
okay.
though, right? Context
I mean,
matters.
the
What did it-
the
what did it
context
beat
that
it in?
a chip for half the price like beats it in
Well,
even anything.
if I take
is
a
still pretty
Ryzen
crazy.
3 and I'm basically getting the same gaming performance in some games as the 7800X 3D, is that make the Ryzen 3 as good as the 7800X 3D?
It makes it
That-
exciting.
It would depend. Like to me,
Like the best? I mean,
Well, once again, best is it means different for different people. But
yeah,
also,
best
I think on the
value
flip side,
is
I know, but the thing I'm saying on the flip side also is that the 7800 X3D is still 8 awesome cores that do not stop you in having a good, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere experience.
right. All
DaVinci Resolve.
all problems with Adobe products I've complained and whined about for years, not actually using all these stupid cores that these hardware makers are making, right? There is no damn good reason why these Adobe products don't push these CPUs as hard as they do, right? And to me,
Yeah.
that's really
I'm just saying,
me, that's-
practically, I
that's
think
a
that's
problem
why
with
it's
Adobe. It's
exciting.
not a problem with-
I know, but either
wouldn't
way,
laud the
if you're
7800
sitting
for
down
it.
and looking to build something, and you're like, oh, okay, well, sure, I lack a little bit of performance, compared to the more expensive parts on content creation stuff that somebody would be interested in, but for the gaming, where not every game, of course, not every game. But for the games that it does matter, it's a huge uplift. And you're like, oh, okay, well, crap. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So, but I will say once again, I was torn between both of those chips. So I'm not going to dig my heels in on the 7800 X3D. If we want to go Z1 Extreme, we can talk about that. But I'm fine going with the 7950 X3D because yes, I do think that the way they approached that was like, oh wow, like that. Okay, that's risky. And even though it got a lot of pushback, like I still see like that as being like, oh dang, okay, that's cool. It's not for everybody, and there's a lot of people who tell you that. But I do see the use case for it, even if the use case is way more minute than what's
For
the
the
people who
Z1
would buy a
Extreme?
7800 X3D. What?
Well, I'm sorry, which chip were you talking about? Just
Sorry, for the 7950 X3D. Like for the people who are wanting the best of both worlds, it's a very small portion, but it is cool that it exists, for damn sure. So
yeah, I mean, with that again, that's
So
that's
I'm
kind of
fine. I'm
reason-
fine going that way. Like I said, I'm not going to dig my heels in on the 7800 X3D, but I think it does. It is nice to hash it out a little bit.
Also,
think-
there was a request to understand the mind of the poors, I guess we'll call them, the people. So, as I mentioned earlier, one person said that they nominated the 7800 X3D because they feel that the X3D series is interesting, or continues to be interesting when operating on a single CCD. So for them, the task switching setup is not as interesting. And somebody else just said that it's the only thing that makes sense for a new gaming system. I think my guess, if I were going to extrapolate from just 2 responses, is that the people are more interested in about what it does for them at rates that they can afford, as opposed to I think where Gordon's coming from is more of just like the actual best in somebody's opinion.
there's been
Right.
plenty of years that we did not vote in the actual best because we always go back and forth over this every year.
we do.
This just happens to be the year that the actual best is the first one to be the actual best at best of both worlds that we're talking about. So I think that's the difference here, at least for me. This is, the full nerd. Like I celebrate that kind of stuff.
Also, I do like the idea of crowning it the best of too, because I know there's going to be a ton of people in the comments being like, "What are you talking about? Just ripped off fake cores. It's horrible. How could you do that? It's so
You
stupid."
mean the 7950X3D, not
The 7950X3D.
Okay, just wanted-
So wait, so to boil this down, are we saying that it's the difference between, or my choices are troll my coworkers or troll the internet?
It's a great job we have.
No, we're not trolling anybody. We're having a legitimate discussion over what do we consider best? What are the attributes? And some people basically, if the price is right, then it's the best, basically, right?
Now,
I mean, that's what it comes down
I know
to.
we don't have a tiered system.
Price innovation is what you guys like.
Yeah, I know we don't have a tiered system like runners up or anything like that. But yeah, I'm fine going 7950 X3D if we can say, hey, the 7800 X3D is a close second.
I'm actually doing a written version of this for the website, and I will make sure to get that in there.
Okay.
If we
Are
were to
okay
go,
with that?
if we were to go back in time, let's go back 2 years, 3 years ago. You're sitting in the
God.
AMD
Oh,
war
I don't
room.
wanna do that. Yeah,
You're sitting in
You're
a
asking a
war
lot,
room.
Gordon.
Let's go back 2.5 years ago, and then say like, look, we could do 2 CCDs, we could do 1 CCD with cache, or why don't we just do the 5800 thing all over again? What if the 7950 and the 7900 X3D parts never existed, and they only did a 7800 X3D? Is that what would make you happy?
I mean, I don't really think it would change much.
I think they're both
I'm
great
just-
parts. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad that they took the shot at this.
I
You
guess.
got to take swings to land home runs, man.
Yeah.
I think so too. And to me, it's just disappointing that sometimes it's always if the price is right, we will pick it. It does get a little. It
It's
does
not
get
just
a
the
little.
price, though. It's not just the price. It's the whole package, Gordon.
Oh, did you know they messed up on the 14900K launch? The price. It's actually only a $200 CPU.
In that case, I would
Oh
vote for
shit!
it.
It's the best thing ever now.
hell yeah, dude! If a 14900K
I
was
don't know.
$200,
I don't know if I'd vote for it,
are
honestly.
you kidding me?
I don't know if I'd vote for it.
It's still pretty damn good.
I don't know if I'd vote for it. It's the whole
24
package.
cores for $200.
I just
I mean,
think
I'd buy
it makes.
it. I don't know if I'd vote for it.
The thing that bugs me is it's going to make companies that go like, you win awards, and if the awards are given just because we give you a good price on this, and we didn't try to do something.
That can be a consideration in some years, but I think that this year there's enough interesting chips going on that it's not up
you're
for
right.
consideration.
I will shut up. I will shut up now.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that it's a clean sweep by AMD. Like, we're talking about the Z1 Extreme, we're talking about the X3D chips, clean sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Once again, we're recording this before Meteor Lake. 14th gen, is a refresh. The mobile parts before that were,
So-
the 13th gen laptop stuff. Yeah. I mean,
We've gone for like an hour at this point, just
Yeah,
on
yeah.
one
Okay.
of 5 topics, right? So
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I
Yeah.
also here's the thing. I will say that Brad was very eloquent in his arguments. And also because I do owe him a solid, not just that it was argued well, but I do owe him a solid after years of torturing him. I'm changing my vote. 7950 X3D. We have a majority. Adam was
Yeah.
going to swing anyway, so we almost have unanimous then. So
Yeah.
we can settle the point.
all right. So there we go. The full nerd best CPU of 2023 is awarded to AMD's Ryzen 9 7950 X3D. Yay! Congratulations.
cores.
Awesome CPU. So now let's move over to GPU. GPUs also, again, did not see a ton of launches, but as our resident GPU reviewer, Brad, I say you get to start.
As long as y'all don't do me like y'all did me last year. Like, I lost so much hair this year.
No promises.
Journalistic integrity. My freaking kids still yell that around the house every now and again when they're. So this
That was
year
all
there was.
Adam.
It was great. I loved it. That was brilliant. But I was getting pretty heated at the time. It's just.
Wait, actually, forget what was it? What did we give it to?
You trolled. You
tried to
trolled him,
pick
remember?
arcs. You tried to.
Oh, it was Arc. Oh,
Yeah.
oh
You,
yes,
Keith,
yes.
and Elena
oh,
were
yeah. I
Yeah.
totally
pretending
forgot
to want arc to win.
Don't worry.
So-
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So this year I had a few in consideration, and an ARC GPU was actually one of them. The ARC A580 was one I was considering. Flip-flopping from what I was arguing the last time around with CPUs, simply because it is the first graphics card to launch at under $200 this decade. So that's worth considering. So, I mean, to me, that is worth at least getting a shout out here. I also considered trying to pull a little sneaky on y'all and arguing for 4090 again, considering that it's upsetting international trade relations and new parts are getting made and all kinds of stuff like that. But since we focus on PC gaming, I decided to go with the Radeon RX 7800 XT. Let's face it, this whole GPU generation is kind of a bummer. The price to performance ratio is all out of whack. But the 4060 and 4060 Ti, with the way NVIDIA configured their memory controllers and memory system, they're not actually 1440p graphics cards. So AMD's Radeon RX 7800 XT is still a bit more money than I would like to see a 1440p graphics card going for in 2023. But considering the world we're living in and the graphics card ranges that we have available right now, that's the only 1440p graphics card worth buying. And since the 4090 and the 7900 XTX and all those came out last year, they're not under consideration. So to me, 7800 XT gets the nod. It's actually pretty all right at ray tracing too. Like, it hangs there, which might say more about how badly NVIDIA bungled the 4060 Ti, but nevertheless.
Also, I'm looking up street prices right now. At least on Newegg in the U.S., there is a 7800 XT from ASRock for $520 with a free game. So
I want XTX actually, not XT. I misphrased that. I want 7800 XTX.
Oh,
The one that's like $20 more. It's worth the $20.
And that's a $500 range? Or
there's no 7800 XTX.
Oh, I got it back. They're so screwy. Yeah, there
there's
is.
a 79.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, there's
I
only
want the
7800 XTX.
I want the more expensive one.
Yeah,
Basically
no,
the one
you're
that
talking about
didn't
the difference
quite-
between the 7700 XT and the
Yeah.
7800
Yep.
XT.
Yep. Yeah, 7800 XTX. Sorry, AMD, your names are confusing. Even on the ones I love.
That's going to come up in another topic at some point, I think.
Yeah.
So 7800 XTX is the pick.
No, just XT.
XT. XT.
Yeah.
7800 XT.
Yeah, 'cause
I mean,
there's only- okay.
it's all the arguments, for 7800 X3D as well. I mean, God, if you could build a 7800 X3D and a 7800 XT box, that'd
Doing
be
all
pretty
right.
damn good.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty damn good. I'll just make it easy real quick. I mean, of course, Z1 Extreme is on my short list, but the little support for that, I'm second in on 7800 XT, and yeah, I will throw away also too that the Discord that there were like more options for GPU like that people were interested in than CPU, but 7800 XT was definitely like by far the
Most popular.
the people's pick as well. So Gordon.
I was actually going to, it's interesting, Brad actually sort of took a little bit of what my plan was, which honestly, if you think about it, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this before. And this is one reason why we may want to consider making the GeForce RTX 4090 the best card of 2023. It was a very late launch, October-ish, November-ish, I think, right? So it was a very late launch for 4090. Performance destroyed everybody. And here we are. It's December of 2023, more than a year later, 14 months later, and still nothing will touch a 4090 in performance. And let me point out for you, if you ignored all the haters, all the people like, oh no, $1,600, blah blah, and you just ignored all that and you bought basically a 4090, you could sell that card now for more. After using it for 14 months, you could sell it for considerably more money than you bought it for at this point, used.
Yep.
And that is simply insane. It just, yes, that speaks to the insanity of the GPU market, which no one is happy with, but it also does speak to the performance of the 4090, that it is still the leader of the pack 14 months after launch and is increased in actual value. Like, if you actually had bought two 4090s, you put one in the closet to save, as a collector's item, and then you played with the other one, you could
there's
sell
some
both
money
of those
left.
cards now for like $5,000 to $6,000, which is nuts. So
If you had the money to buy two 4090s, you're in a pretty good spot regardless.
It's so
but
good.
you would have bought them for $1,600, $1,700, Adam, and now
I know. I'm
You're
just
going
saying,
for-
if you can buy two $1,700 GPUs and just afford to put one in the closet just in case it gains value, you're
Adam,
Yeah, you're
if you're
probably
not
gonna-
practicing GPU arbitrage, what are you doing with your life?
I
know,
was
right?
thinking, I saw, so like at the press conference at Computex, Jensen was signing video cards. It's like, damn, those people are smart. Some guy had him sign like a 3080, but if you had him sign like a 4090 FE card that you had, or any card,
Yeah.
if you just want to make money, I know, because money matters to everybody here, because it's all about value, but the performance to value performance of the 4090 it's insane. It's awesome.
I figured there'd be more pushback against it, which is why I didn't argue for it too hard. But I really think the 4090 is the GPU of the year. Like, it's legit shaking up international relations.
Right.
It's
The
so
United
good
States
you can't sell it
government's-
to China.
Wait,
The United
hold on,
States
Brad.
government is stepping in and
didn't
saying-
you didn't think Gordon was going to pick that?
I don't know.
You really?
No.
Come on, there's nothing else high end that came out this year.
This is. It didn't come out this year, so I like the pick that I said. But if other people are swayed by it, I would definitely vote for the 4090. All right, never mind. 7800
No,
XT it is.
But the
Yeah.
value, but
Not
the
me.
value.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I could sell a 4090 now for $3,000. I don't.
Resale value is part of value.
Did you acquire it when it was still? Well, can you still acquire it at that price now? There's no value in that.
Well, no, I would sell a 4090 and I'd buy one of those 7800 XTs, and then I would
Yes,
take
but that's
that
assuming
money.
you have one already. That's not a value.
Mine
What
caught
do you
on
mean,
fire.
The 7800 XT, or
too soon.
I just,
Okay.
value the
It does not
value is
surprise
just
me.
kinda
40.
does it
Okay.
for me.
Gordon says 4090. Elena, what's your pick?
So this was really hard for me because honestly, I was going through my options and I had to return to it because my first reaction was, I don't like any of these. I don't like any of this. Like on the CPUs, especially after going through all the CPU stuff, right? Because as Gordon rightly pointed out, there's just so many good choices. We can argue the finer points of, what makes best and what's boring and what's exciting and all of that, right? But we have things that we can argue about because it's just so consistently good across the board, right? That's not the case on the GPU side. And I'm just kind of tired of saying like, well, it's the best of 2023 asterisk because there's nothing else available. This is the best it's going to get, right? Like I don't really like that part of it. And so first I considered the 7600 because that was the first reasonably priced graphics card we had seen in a while. 1080p performance, there were some limitations to it. Like ray tracing, not really great. Smaller amount of VRAM available. I think 8 gigabytes. Brad would know better than me off the top of his head.
Yeah.
But I think the launch price was $270. So even then, it was a little bit inflated. Still better than what we were getting, but again, didn't really make me go, yes, I'm going to defend that. I'm going to drag this conversation out for 40 minutes because because that's what I want to do. I also considered the Intel A580, but for me, that's also kind of a more difficult pick because love the price, love that people who have been traditionally ignored, not even traditionally, it's not a tradition, unfortunately, maybe it's becoming one. Recently becoming ignored. Thank you. I don't want it to become a tradition. It's been recently ignored. Like they're getting some attention, but at the same time, if we're talking about maturity and just being able to kind of roll with things, and I know Intel has done a lot to improve their drivers. They're working very hard every month, just to get those new driver releases out. But if I was advising somebody, just like a random person that I know through like one of my hobbies who isn't super deep into tech and just wants to play games, I don't know if I'd recommend an Intel card to them, because I don't know if they necessarily want a DIY-ish experience. I think more likely they want a console plus experience, right? So that it feels very similar to a console experience, and then a little tinkering involved, but not much more than that. So that kind of ruled it out. So in the end, I finally just went to what I felt was kind of the boring pick, which is the 7800 XT. For me, it's boring because it's like, okay, it's good, like for all the reasons that Brad mentioned, but I kind of wanted something, like I want it to be like a head-to-head. Like I wanted it to be more exciting as opposed to, well, this is the best we're going to get this year, which is, don't get me wrong, if AMD is listening, it's a very good card. I'm not saying it's not, but we just spent an hour plus, I don't know how long we spent, but a long time, debating the CPU side of things. And so it's just a little anticlimactic to kind of go from that to like, bloop, to this.
It's a shame that NVIDIA messed up the 4060 series so much, because if those were sanely configured, like that would have been my top pick. Bringing DLSS 3, all the new DLSS 3.5 and stuff to the masses. Like NVIDIA's software shone so hard this year. Shined, but they just got crazy with the pricing and the configuration for the mass models, and I really wish I could, because I really do think that DLSS 3 is a game changer. I do think that DLSS 3.5 is a massive step forward, but the graphics card's prices just ain't there, and it's insane that the only true 1440p graphics card worth buying is $500. But it is the best of what we got this year.
I also felt like, and I already gave my pick, but I also just wanted to add to that is that I also feel like it's disappointing to not see movement in areas that were supposed to be getting a lot of buzz and push forward, right? Like ray tracing hasn't really gone that much forward. Like NVIDIA is not having AMD nip their heels, so they're not really having to push super hard on that. AMD hasn't really brought up their performance, right? We are seeing more stuff on the software side. But then that gets into that opens up the whole debate, because there was definitely comments in chat about how these are software gimmicks, and I want to see something about hardware, right? And yeah, it's I miss the era when it was the hardware kicks ass, and we love seeing this, and you get the additional software tricks on top of it if you want them.
Yeah, some games are requiring in their recommended specs to have DLSS or FSR on now, and I don't like that. But who was left?
You get that with
Adam?
the 4090 though, Elena. You get kick-ass hardware performance, and you get kick-ass software.
I would like to point out there was a comment. Oh crap! Let me find it. Somebody did nominate the 1080 Ti. Just
My man.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
I do want to point out, because I know somebody's probably going to whine about it, but yeah, I think NVIDIA, they've been pushing this. They just they just passed 500 games with ray tracing support or something like that.
Not just ray tracing, RTX, DLSS ray tracing.
Oh, so it's all. So they've definitely
RTX feature.
They've definitely made a lot of inroads since the 20 series launch. So is it as critical as it was? Is it super critical? You have ray tracing, really awesome ray tracing performance? I don't know, but it does feel like it's all.
Play Alan Wake, man.
Yeah, and we had a good discussion with Alex over at Digital Foundry too. So yeah, good stuff to talk about the future. Once again, 7800 XT. I think three of us are in alignment there. So it makes sense, unless we want to try to go for Ryzen 7000 mobile and Z1 Extreme. But
no,
that would have been my second.
Though.
That would have been if it was a flat no on the 7950X 3D. I would have fully shifted over to trying to argue for the Z1 Extreme though.
All right.
Huh.
Gordon,
no, so
last
78.
comment?
So
No.
it'll be 7800 XT then. So yeah, I mean that's a good.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a good solid card. I mean, it just kind of speaks to the mess that GPUs have been. We argued about CPUs for an hour because there was an hour's worth of debate on CPUs, because you're getting service at the low end, mid range, high end. You're getting constant launches all the time,
And
They're
you're still
very
getting
price
like
competitive.
crazy hardware innovation.
And GPUs,
yeah,
other than
with
Intel,
GPUs.
You know, it really
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
it is not,
Yeah.
it's not overly exciting, right? So I think that's why we're seeing that reflected.
I think it says a lot that the best card, as you pointed out, Gordon, is a card from last year, right? So the 4090 is still kicking major butt.
Right.
But like Brad, I came into this thinking, okay, like what actually released this year? And I don't feel like it was, I mean, fortunately, it wasn't so depressing this year in the GPU space that I had to go back to last year, right? Like if it was so bad, like if AMD had completely just like seeded the field this year, then actually I probably would have gone with the 4090. But I don't feel like that's the case this year. Like we do have more competition from things that actually released this year. And I know we could debate, because this is how our crew works. We could debate the merits of just raw performance and how it's been sustained over the last 13, 14 months versus new, but for reasons I don't need to rehash. I'm stick with this. Yeah.
Fortunately, the 7800 XT demolishes the 4060 Ti's that it ostensibly is similar in price to, and it even beats out the 4070 in a lot of games, which is $100 more. So it's a clear winner this year. AMD went with it.
All right, then let's call the best GPU of 2023, according to the Full Nerd, is AMD's Radeon RX 7800 XT. Congratulations, So
God,
AMD won
We
both,
should do that
both
like
CPU and GPU.
The grunt ta-da noise.
Oh, ta-da! Yay!
Birthday.
I really
Birthday.
looked for
Yeah.
Arc. I really was like wondering, it was 2023 the year of Arc, but it didn't quite, we didn't quite get there, but it still feels like it's a bummer we're not, I mean, they really have been servicing that sort of like entry
They really
level,
have.
and nobody else has, but nobody ever, again, who cares, right? It's just,
Well-
you don't get like, oh, super excited about that. So
Also, in a couple days' time, Arc coming to Meteor Lake. So we'll see what that holds, and maybe some of those lessons they learned on the desktop apply to the mobile space as well. But we're recording that before this, so we got to go with what we go with. So let's move on over to a kind of a fun one. Best accessory. I will say that this kind of encapsulates a lot of things, whether it's
does.
inside of a system. I don't know if you can see, but this little AIO that has Gordon spinning on a loop saying "Zombie Apocalypse," I would consider an accessory. But then also outside, monitors, keyboards, mice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I think that can be considered the best accessory. I think Steam Deck won last year,
Yep.
because it is
It did.
in my mind an accessory to
Yep.
your main PC. So I'm curious to see where this goes. I actually want to start off with Elena this time.
Okay, so this one was hard for me because every year I kind of blank when I think of an accessory, because when I think of accessory, I always think of, maybe I'm dating myself here, but I'm like keyboard, mouse, I don't know. And then I have to really sit down and think about all the different things that are out there. And then from there, I also have to extrapolate, did that really launch this year, or is this more of a trend? And I think this year I'm going to end up picking something that maybe is arguably more of a trend, as opposed to a new innovation for 2023. I guess that's innovation also crosses into a different category. So it gets a little murky for me. I like really defined parameters.
Yeah.
But for me, it's really simple. It's it's not even something necessary, but I love it a lot, and it's reverse fan blade fans.
Yeah.
And like, to me, it's just like, if you're gonna go through the trouble, if you're gonna go through the trouble of building a really nice system, back in the day, just having the crosshatch showing because you wanted proper airflow, which is like just like annoys you, right? Like, it's just like, oh man, it would look just so much better. And I think Thermaltake came out with this last year. So they actually had a model where you could actually, if I remember right, you could pull out and like actually reverse it yourself. And I actually prefer that the best because it gives you the most flexibility. But
course.
this year I've seen more options in general. So like the set that, for audio listeners, Adam just showed a box of Leon Lee Unifans that have reverse blades. And I would like this just to become pervasive. And I feel like maybe we're starting to see a little bit of that tipping point happen in 2023. I'm hoping that it remains that way and keeps going, kind of like how when we first started seeing, Gordon's going to hate this maybe. No, wait. Does Gordon hate RGB? I don't remember anymore. But like when we first started seeing
I love
RGB
RGB.
keyboards, like when we first started seeing RGB keyboards and like it was just like took a little bit, all of a sudden it was like tip, and all of a sudden it was just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So that's my nomination. It's pretty simple. It's not even that vital, but as a PC builder who has done some aesthetic builds, it's a nice little quality of life thing that stops annoying you because it's like that one little detail that you can't unsee.
Yeah, I like
That's a
it.
good one.
Yeah, Gordon, you wanna go next?
Yeah, although it's not necessarily like a 2023 thing, although for me it is because I'm gonna nominate something that is just like the most PC world category ever, and that is bulk printers that use bulk ink. I've
The tank
used
ones?
yeah. So the tank you just like so I've used Canon printers for a long time, and they're no different than HP or gosh, who else? Brother and all the other printer makers, because they have these little cartridges and they're always running out at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you don't have any ink, so now you can't
It's
print.
true.
And the ink is always like, they always have different models, and the cartridges are $21, and you have to have 5 of them. My printer has like 5 21 in 5, actually 6.
Yeah.
6 different print cartridges, and every time you're just always constantly buying them. And I just spent $110 to buy another like 6 cartridges because my wife couldn't print something out, so like it's my fault because we're not properly, we don't have the ink standing by. So for Black
Brad,
Friday,
real quick, can you tell people, is it easy or hard to review printers for PCWorld.com?
We don't review printers. I hate printers.
I wonder why.
I love printers. I have many printers. But the thing is, what I didn't realize, because Epson did this for a long time, because people stopped buying printers. Obviously, millennials, they're all freeloaders, so they don't basically print anything on their
Use
own
their
printer.
parents' printer.
Because they don't have it. They go to their parents' printer, or they go somewhere else and use it.
Work.
That's what they do, right? That's what most young people do. They don't, because everybody's like, "Oh, it's coming over to use my printer." So, but Epson basically said, "Screw it. We're just going to charge you $400 for the printer and give you all the ink for the next 5 years," right? And it's just all these. But now everybody does it. So Canon does it. HP does it. They all have. It's usually a bulk. Is that your parents' printer?
No, it's my printer. I've had this. I'm not going to date myself, but I've had this forever. I am a millennial. I just want to say that the millennial hate is unwarranted.
You might be screwed on that because they always
Nope.
the unspoken printer talk. They always screw you because when there's a new OS, that's when they decide to dump printer support. So
Nope.
you always like
This thing has survived.
you have cursed yourself now, Elena. You've definitely cursed yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to
They're
stop
going
there.
to drop it, and then you don't want to curse it. But yeah, no. But like the fact that I bought this Canon printer Black Friday. It was $60 off, $140, enough ink that will last me for the rest. Like
your
the next
life?
5 years, right? Who knows,
So-
right? For my situation, but
Is
I just think
this
it's
a
like
specific
bulk
model,
ink.
or are you
No.
you nominating
just the fact
printers
that
with
these
bulk ink?
printers with bulk ink, because
Yeah, they're called tank
we've
printers.
won the war. We've won the war because they're always screwing you on those stupid little $21 cartridges that you have to buy 5 or 6 of, right? So now they're just like this big ass tank. It looks like a thing of milk. It's like this much ink, and it's like $10. You're never
fancy
going to use it. In
bottle.
fact, the printer will probably die before I ever use
You
all
run
the
out of
ink,
ink.
which is kind of like the cheat that I think they're counting on. But the fact
That is
is,
something to
we've
get
won
excited
the
about, I
war.
guess. I didn't know.
I'm super excited because I was $110 on ink I just spent like 4 months ago, and like we're already like, what? How do we use all that ink? Right? We're already like almost it's all gone. So screw this. I'm not doing this anymore.
Ink
So
costs more than Netflix. Forget that.
it's just such a
Yeah.
ripoff. It just kills me. So like, but the fact that I didn't realize that HP, Canon, and Epson and everybody and Brother, they're all doing bulk ink printers. And you can just buy these things, not worry about the ink, and you have a printer to use instead of going over to freeload on your friends or relatives that actually have printers. So
I feel like, though, there's got to be some kind of gotcha to it because they've been doing this so long to us. Like, is there just like a built-in expiration date where they're like, sorry, your tanks are no longer going to work. It's past the 5-year mark. Please buy an entire new printer.
You know, the thing is, they used to have, remember they had chip cartridges? HP was famous for them because, like, well, the ink would expire. So they don't do that anymore because you just pour the ink into the printer, into a giant reservoir. But again, you know, the amount of ink I put in there, I don't think I'm ever going to print. So I think probably what's going to happen is it's going to get gummed up. The print heads will get dry. You know, these are still basically consumer printers. You're not buying a commercial office printer that's going to last forever. I'm a big printer guy, obviously, as you can tell. So, but the fact is, we won the war, and that is the good news. And I think that's like one of the best accessories. It's safe to buy a printer now. People don't want to buy printers because they're sick of buying the stupid inks. We went from constantly screwing you on the inks to, oh, why don't you sign up for our subscription so we send you ink, right? They all try
ink
this.
as a subscription.
Yeah, ink as a subscription. People are like, screw you. I'm not gonna print anymore. I'm gonna print at my parents' place. I'm gonna print at work. Or now they've all given up. They're just selling these damn printers. Ink is not a problem. So we won. That's a great accessory.
I will also say that laser has always been a great place to be.
Sort of. I have a color laser because a color laser was like a way to get color, and you do it cheap because you do like 6,000. But then the toner cartridges, you have to buy 5 different toner cartridges, and they're $80 a piece. So you basically eventually, and then you're like, oh, I'll do the knockoff refill stuff, and then my printer is dead because those things leak everywhere and they ruin your printer. So cheapskates use the knockoff ink, and they always tell you that, but those are the people who don't print anything. People who print stuff and care, I use OEM ink because I had to ruin a printer, so I'm not going to do it again. So
no, that's fair. I black and white laser printers are like super
mono's
solid.
good.
Super solid.
Yeah, and actually,
This is now printer world.
I do want to find. Yeah, sorry, last one. I do want to find a laser
EIC
mono
of
that's
printer
supported.
world. Oh.
Printers are awesome. Hey man, I had to print this out yesterday, right? I printed on my new printer.
There you go.
I was just printing stuff like all day. I don't even care.
Just sitting there hitting print. I'm not going to run out. I'll just keep going. All right, I'll go next. I actually think there was definitely a lot on my list as I was looking through. I was like, oh my God, like there is a ton of exciting stuff to talk about. You know, I don't think any of these are probably in a consensus thing, so we're gonna have to hash some stuff out. But yeah, I do want to start off by saying that the Furore Systems Airjet Mini, I actually have one here in my hand. The fine folks over at Furore gave one to me. This is a dead one. With their Airjet Mini, we saw it at CES. We called this revolutionary. For PCWorld.com's best of 2023, I awarded it innovation. So, you know, it's definitely, but it falls more in that innovation, and we'll talk about that than accessory. So we'll talk about that later. But I got my first mechanical keyboard this year. It was at that 8-bit
join
Do.
us.
I love
Wait,
that.
what?
Yeah.
You've had a mechanical keyboard for a while.
I'm sorry, like custom mechanical keyboard, not just like a normal, you know, off the shelf mechanical. I haven't
Can't
built
go
my
back
own
now.
yet. I know. Anyway,
So you're deep in that rabbit hole of the keyboard fetish now?
no, not deep yet. I have not built my own yet. I'm getting there, right on the edge. Anyway, I also want to make a special shout out to the cable we saw at CES, the 12-volt high power cable, or 12 volt 2x2, or no, 2 by X.
2x6.
2x6. There we go.
12 2 times
with
6.
Yeah, with the yellow pins, so that you know that it's fully seated in there. I don't know if that necessarily counts as an accessory, but I just wanted to call it out. But yeah, I do like the reversible fan blades, because this was the first year I used them. The Fantex ones. They had a certain model come out this year. We saw Computex, I can't remember. But my real pick, and I should have brought it because I don't have it here, is the Scuf Envision line of controllers. I know a lot of people scoff, like, why would I spend that much on a controller? But also, there's a lot of people who scoff at like, why would you spend that much on a custom keyboard? What the hell? So, I mean, if you use a controller,
Don't yuck
a
my
lot,
yum.
yeah, then you know what? It is worth it to spend buco dollars on a really nice controller. And so that Scuf Envision, I have the Pro model specifically, which adds wireless. And a couple other small things, but even the normal Envision I think is a good controller. It took me a while to get used to because it definitely has some different things compared to a normal controller.
That's the one that's built for PC gaming, right?
It's built for PC gaming. I mean, why? I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have something that's like, ooh, only PC. But I think they wanted to target PC players. Anyway, I love that controller. It took me a while. At first, I was like, I don't know about this controller, and then it grew on me. Oh, sorry, one more special shout out. Corsair's IQ Link that we saw at Computex, having that one cable routing in the PC is pretty awesome. So, but
I really want to try one of those
Scuf
builds.
Envision controller.
I want to know how like the Corsair one's exciting to me. And
We're going to do it tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
People are going to hear this late, but yeah, we're doing a build tomorrow with them, so I'm excited.
Cool.
All right, that means Brad.
Yeah.
Brad's up.
It's funny you should mention Corsair because going through my list, Corsair actually kicked butt this year. All my final contenders actually all came from Corsair. I really like that IQ Link as well, although I'm not going to cast my vote for it because I haven't played with it yet. Their MP700 PCIe 5 SSD is one of the best we've ever tested. Their Virtuoso Pro headset that's made for like really nice mic quality. It's made for streamers and gamers alike. Like we reviewed it, we loved it. But the one that I have to give my nod to is the Corsair Xeneon Flex monitor. I'm a monitor guy. I'm a big monitor guy. Before my house burned down, I had I think 6 different ones. Like I work on a pair of different 4K monitors, ones with like HDR and 144 hertz. Then I have a 360 hertz one for when I play Rainbow Six and Counter-Strike and stuff. Have ultra wides for playing video games, etc. Like I'm into monitors, and this is the first monitor that I ever tested that, like literally, like my brain turned off and what was left of my soul just went, whoa, like Keanu Reeves' voice looking at the thing. It's massive. I think it's 42 or 38 inches. It's a big, huge OLED monitor that you can pull handles out from either end and bend to the curve that you want or position it straight. You can actually adjust the monitor curve. And one drawback of it is it's not super duper high resolution, so it's not as great if you're doing production work. But if you're sitting there playing games, it's got HDR 1000. It's freaking 240 hertz. You can bend it to fit however you want it. It's packed with pixels. The OLED looks amazing. Darks are dark, brights are bright. It's just drool worthy, and I've never been so sad to send a review unit back as that one. So that has to be my accessory of the year.
Yeah, a lot of people in the Discord chat had mentioned OLED monitors as their best accessory for the year.
And that's part of the reason I wanted to talk about it too, because like last year the Steam Deck obviously rolled everything. But the last 2 years specifically, OLEDs have finally come up, and we haven't really recognized that in our awards because the Steam Deck just took all the air out of the room last year. So not only is this the best monitor I've ever touched, I'm kind of using it as a representative for OLED in general.
I mean, the Steam Deck just came out with an OLED version this year. For
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's definitely the year of the OLED. I mean, like I have no problem getting behind an OLED monitor because it's definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we all have different picks, so I guess it's a matter of where can we gain consensus around.
Hey, look at these suckers. Look at these. Oh. Look at that. Look like a pint of milk. That's ink. These are the extra ones. I've already filled it, and they give you 2 more just to make you feel like you're never going to use all this ink, right? That's nuts.
That is exciting.
No, but I honestly I could get behind the OLED thing because I am badly in need of a new monitor. But for me, paying $900 for a monitor, even though I've got like 4090s that I have in my my secret export business through Jensen, He gives them to me. I sell them to China. I'm like, no, I'm making that up, NSA. I'm not really doing that at all. But I just can't see spending $900 on a monitor. But these OLED panels,
It's
I
worth
was
it.
looking at like that Samsung, like, oh my God, I really need to prioritize getting a new panel, and maybe an OLED panel is the thing that does it, right? So
You can find them for a few $100 on sale during hot sale times too.
yeah, but I need 32 or bigger. So
Well, and
high
I do
res.
also feel like this year there was plenty of chatter of like, hey, where is OLED out at in general? Do they still have the burn-in issues? Like, there's definitely a lot more interest in OLED, just tangentially through the course of the year. I feel like people have been asking that stuff, and I know that Keith May couldn't join us for this episode. He wanted to be here, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely been on the hunt for OLED. I think it was starting at CES earlier this year. He was like on the hunt for OLED monitors. So yeah, I've no problem. I mean, I don't know that specific model, the Flex. I mean, I know of it, but I haven't used that one.
Freaking awesome! You
specifically, so-
should have seen the case
Yeah.
they shipped it in, like a Pelican case, a big, huge, massive. Like it probably cost them $1,000 to ship the thing.
Yeah.
Elena, how do you feel about OLED monitors?
So I think I'm the only member of staff that openly admits to still having a CRT monitor. And it's
No, I have
because
one.
I mean,
openly,
those are awesome.
openly admits. And it's because I really prized those black levels for the longest time. And I remember, I think it was like in 2007-ish, like I was talking to a friend and I said, I can't wait for something like plasma or OLED, because that was like just starting to come onto the radar, to come to monitors. And I was like looking at all the reports and I was like, but it's going to take 15 years. 15 years later, here we are. So, yeah, I may finally have a reason to let my CRT monitor finally go.
Are you actually using that CRT panel?
For specific, very specific things, yeah.
Oh.
Partially for
But
the
like-
aspect ratio.
But you're
It's
not
like-
like using it for work kind of stuff, like gaming.
I was
kinda.
for a long time, actually. But I think earlier on in the pandemic, I was like, I need more pixels. I need to
Yeah.
switch the monitor.
So do we want to nominate a specific product like the Flex, or do we just want to say, hey, best accessory is OLED monitors in general?
I think it'd be best to have a product, like best accessory. I think it's good to have a product.
Yeah, that
but-
OLED Flex is nice, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. And when I do the write up for the article, I can say this is a stand-in for OLED. This thing rocks, but OLEDs in general rock.
Well, I guess I won't be buying one for $1,500.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit, probably at least another 5 years before it
Oh
starts
my
coming down in price. Is my
Those
guess.
Xeneon Flexes are insane, yeah. But
It's
they're
45 inches.
go read my review, man. Like go read my review.
I mean, that Alien one, the Alienware one that was highly rated too is $900 on sale right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started coming
Yeah.
down in
That's
price
ultra
finally.
wide.
And the Samsung Odyssey is ultra wide
Odyssey's
as well, same $900. The G
Also can't. It's been coming down in price.
Yeah, actually, I didn't realize. I was just doing a quick Google search. It looks like a lot of companies have that Alienware as like their top OLED pick.
Yeah, it's
Really?
great. It's great. Yeah.
Did we review that one specifically, or?
We reviewed both the G-Sync and the FreeSync one. Yeah.
It's only 34
Okay.
inches though.
Yeah, it's an
Only-
ultra
34
wide.
inch ultra wide. Yeah.
I actually would prefer that when I finally upgrade. There's just something about having like a 48-inch monitor that's just a little excessive for me, right? Like so close to my face. It varies based on who you are. Obviously, some people love it.
No.
For me, it doesn't work for my eyes and my body.
It had a definite learning curve. Hey-ho, curve. But it did. It took me a day or two to get used to it. But after I did, I liked it.
Oh yeah. So this is a subhead of our review from Matt Smith, freelancer Matt Smith. The Alienware AW blah, 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 improves upon its predecessor and shows us all why it's still the top OLED gaming monitor around.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I kind of nominate that one over the Flex personally. If
Did
we're,
that
if
come
we're
out
gonna go
this
with a
year?
Specific product.
Is the question.
December
that came out
22nd,
last year.
2022.
But that would have been after last year's show, so we couldn't have actually
that's
gotten to it
true.
last year for
We
nominations. so-
reviewed it a little bit late. We didn't review it on the deadline.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I would
Snaps.
nominate that one. That's the one I would have nominated if if it came out this year.
Damn.
Okay.
Those are nice. I can't imagine what that's like.
Having the money for that? I know.
No, 45-inch panel.
Oh man, it's amazing. Like literally sitting there, curve it a bit, and then I was sitting there playing Forza Horizon 5, the racing game with the HDR
Oh.
going and everything, and it's just like, oh man.
That would have been nice, yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any specific picks, so I would default to the Flex if you feel that strong about it. Does anyone else have any other?
No. To me,
No.
it makes sense. I mean, like, gets me excited. I want to get an OLED panel now, but I got my printer. Exciting printer stuff.
I can't afford the monitor yet, so I'll just be busy with my reverse bladed plans.
Oh, it's on sale for $1,500. Yeah. Okay. Then let's call it the best success. The Full Nerds best accessory of 2023 is the Corsair Xeneon Flex 45 WQHD 240. Got to include the model number in there, I guess.
It really is
you
like
can-
it's expensive as heck. But like I said, I go through a ton of monitors, and that's the first one that just ever like blew me away. I felt like the dudes in the chair in the old Memorex commercials or whatever.
Yeah. Love that.
There's a reference.
All right. Cool. Okay, let's move on to the fourth and penultimate category, which is the best trend. We actually had some
Best
some
innovation.
good. I'm sorry, best innovation. Best innovation. We had this was another thing that a lot of people in Discord kind of. I mean, there was just a lot of talk in there, and like I don't know about you, Elena. Do you feel like there was anything for trend that really popped out? I'm
you
sorry,
want me to-
innovation.
You want me to go
Yeah.
first? Or are we talking about comment on
no,
Discord?
no, from the Discord, yeah.
Oh, from the Discord. I was surprised. It was actually pretty spread. I did
Right.
see some commentary about Steam Deck, so that I thought that would make you happy.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Steam OS support is definitely, a big one
Yeah.
for sure.
But it was pretty
okay.
like this one. They were pretty widely spread. Like I'll just kind of name a few things. So there was the Steam OS stuff. The where is it? DLSS.
Reconstruction.
That's actually really
Yeah.
good.
Hall sensors, or Hall effect. Sorry, Hall effect sensors were mentioned. The trend of having like really good air coolers, like tower coolers, coming down in price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they're like I actually really that one resonated with me because I mean for the longest time was it the Hyper Evo 212 the Cooler Master one like just reigned supreme for so long, and in the last few
Just
years
default.
like you can kind of see like how things that used to be kind of more in that $50 range have just been kind of coming down in price and just giving that level of performance, which I think is awesome. But yeah, so that's kind of the spread that I feel like I saw.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, best innovation. Gordon, why don't you go first this time?
I got a few.
Yeah, please.
And I really couldn't settle on it. I mean, obviously, I like Adam. We saw AirJet at CES. We saw it at Computex. That was my number one pick. So the AirJet Mini, I think, is really innovative, cooling. Again, you can watch all the videos we've done on them many, many times. But basically, it's the first development away from fans in 100 years, right? Fans have been basically driving cooling for most things for 100 plus years, and AirJet Mini with the solid state cooling is a markedly different. I can't get into all the reasons of how it works. Go watch our videos. We have many of them. That was my number one pick, but I actually had some other things I do want to put out, just throw out there. The other one is reverse cases. So last year we sort of saw reverse cases kind of pop up from different vendors. wasn't sure if it was going to go anywhere, but now it looks like the reverse case trend might actually catch on. And what will probably make that happen is the motherboard companies and are going to probably agree to build similar motherboards, similar cases. So it's entirely possible reverse cases will be something you can have in your hands really, really soon and will be a reality. Number 3 is 12V 2x6. And I would say that to me is an innovation because, 12 high power was obviously got a bad name behind it. If you ask me, 12V2, whatever the hell they're calling it, 2x6 is basically, fixes that. It just renames it. And the fact that we actually had to go from everybody hand-wringing to a new version of it in a year is pretty impressive, which brings me to the last one, which in some ways I think is, among all these best innovations, the best of them all, and that is CAM2. That's compression attached memory module. And if you go look at the videos and stories we've done on PC World and on the channel, CAM was basically a new memory standard for mobile computers and small form factors that would replace SODIMMs that are SODIMMs. Basically, the design is several decades old. It's coming to the end. It's getting harder and harder to push density and speeds on SODIMM designs. Dell came up with CAM. People immediately freaked out and said, "Oh, we don't want a proprietary standard." Dell says it's not proprietary. We're going to JEDEC. They actually went to JEDEC, and it's been cooking at JEDEC. It's been like chili. It's been in that slow cooker for a while. And about a couple weeks ago, they actually finally released CAM2. So it's called CAMM2. So the previous version, CAM, is still proprietary. This Dell's original design. They'll probably, I haven't talked to Dell yet, but I imagine they're going to switch to CAM2. CAM2 is basically the what JEDEC is designated to pick to replace SODIMMs. Big change is you're going to get the big change is you'll get more memory. So now you can get up to 128 gigs of RAM in CAM2. You also get higher transfer speeds. You just, I think it'll start at for the LPDDR version, it's going to start at 6,400. And the other really, really big thing for CAM2 modules is now you can get LP low power DDR5X and LPDDR5 in a CAM module. CAM2 module. So previously, if you had a gaming laptop, most of them use SODIMMs because they wanted more memory density. They didn't really care about space as much, and they didn't want to solder memory down because LPDDR5 required and 4 required you to solder to the motherboard. That's why Apple does that. That's why Dell does that in the XPS 13 class computers. With CAM2, they can push the bandwidth where CAM2 will give you the option. I believe, I haven't talked to everybody yet, but looking at the specs that I have in front of me, it looks like you will be able to take your gaming laptop and go, I could go 128 gigs of CAM2, or I can go with LPDDR5X because I want really good standby time. LPDDR basically greatly reduces the amount of standby power that a laptop will use when it's in standby. Not when you're in active use, but when it's just sitting there doing nothing. So you can close the lid, come back to it in 5 days, and the battery will have supposedly dropped less than if you had a SODIMM unit with a ton of RAM sitting there idling that whole time. But those are my 4 picks. AirJet was a top, but honestly, the fact that we went from Dell pushing CAM as what people said was proprietary to it now actually being released as a full spec by JEDEC is, to me, possibly my top pick. Although AirJet I really do dearly love because it's the biggest change in 100 years. And, CAM2 is the biggest change in, 20 to 30 years. So
I'll go ahead.
2 big changes.
Well, real quick, if I can ask a question, Gordon, do you think CAM2 is going to have any sort of impact on the desktop?
I think it'll probably be desktop and all-in-ones. So typically, if you're going to see a NUC class computer, small computers where they use SODIMMs typically, you'll probably see CAM2 support in there eventually.
Okay.
Mostly it'll be in gaming laptops, probably watered down to slightly bigger laptops. I can't see necessarily somebody putting it in a desktop yet because you can already push pretty high transfer speeds on a desktop with DIMMs. They're not quite as limited as you are in the laptops. You're not as space limited as well, so it probably doesn't make sense. But when you're looking at an all-in-one, or you're looking at a Nook or a little tiny computer, or these things where they're taking the laptops and they're removing the screens and selling them as computers that you plug into a monitor, that's probably where you might see it develop. But it's going to be more expensive initially, so it'll take a while. Probably going to workstation class laptops first, because who needs 128 gigs of RAM? And it'll go, by the way, 128 gigs isn't the limit. As we get to denser memory, you'll probably see even more in CAM too. So, but the fact that you can get LP RAM in a gaming laptop, or think about this, you take a MacBook and they typically solder the memory in, and Apple screws you by giving you 8 gigs of RAM. Well, in the future, if Apple actually adopted CAM 2, you might actually be able to upgrade your Mac's memory. It's like, holy smokes, right? To me, that's a big deal. Right?
That's wishful thinking.
I was
wishful
gonna say,
thinking.
just because they can doesn't mean they will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Apple's always, they're always about making the most money. And if they can glom onto an industry standard that somebody else has already put all the hard work into, and it saves them money, and that means they make more money. They don't give it to you. Apple's going to do it. So,
You know what makes money though? Having someone buy a whole new $3,000 MacBook.
Yeah, right.
that does, because you only bought it with 8 gigs of RAM.
Brad, do you want to go next?
Yeah, because Gordon just made it easy for me. My two top picks were Cam 2 as well as AirJet, for all the reasons he said. I think that both of those are going to have a lasting impact on the industry, actually. But I'm personally just more impressed with AirJet, so that's where my vote goes.
Okay. Then I guess I'll roll in. Obviously, I gave best innovation to AirJet on the website, but I'm actually not going to here.
Oh.
It's one of my picks. It's like a runner up. It was close, but I think where the website's different than the Full Nerd, where the Full Nerd we focus a little bit more on desktop, a little bit more on like hardware releases. I think that's one knock against the AirJet, is that we've only really seen it come officially to one product this year.
Yep.
And so like that's just, I want to see it come to more products. And for the Full Nerd crowd, that's why I know that might be weird to differentiate that between that and like PCWorld.com, but like,
Sure.
Yeah, but my second runner up would be all white parts, because I feel like this year all white parts are like in an awesome spot. Like it's not that hard to find an all white build.
I don't think you can
like,
say that, can you? You can't say that anymore, can you? Don't you have to give it on a Pantone color?
I don't know. But my actual pick is actually another one of Gordon's, and that is the reversible case motherboard. Like we talk about all the time here about ATX and how it needs to evolve and how companies need to work together and like really push it forward. This feels like the first real effort where there's a lot of companies on board who are theoretically talking to each other and, maybe might make it a thing of like, hey, you know what, this could be like a standard that everyone adopts. Right now, it's still kind of in this weird phase where each company is doing just slight, little variations, so it's not interoperable, and a lot of them are still selling like, it in bundles, so you don't accidentally, use a different motherboard and case kind of thing. But I do feel like we're actually getting there with it, and like I love it not only for the look of it. Obviously there's a benefit for the aesthetic appeal to it, but actually I think the building in it is going to change. Like, it might be a small thing, but like if it changes the way that we build PCs, where you don't have to route the cables through the front, flip it over like hundreds of times to be like, oh, okay, which one do I put it out? Like everything is just like plugged in from the back side. Like I think that will make like actually building a PC different than usual. So that's why for the Full Nerd crowd, that's the one I want to go with. So
And War on Cables was on my short list too.
Which, funny enough, and we'll get to it, it actually popped up in the worst trend in some of our
Yeah, I was surprised
our
by that.
community.
What did
Some people don't like it, so
We'd have to
don't
ask
know.
them.
Yeah, I
Some
mean, I
people,
think
they
right
say
now
it's
because
too
it's in the,
proprietary.
right now it's in that growing pain, where but
But Asus,
I do think we'll get past that.
Asus is already doing it based off of published standards that are already out there. So it's not quite, but a lot of people, I can see the concern.
Yeah, but I don't think the GPU power thing is going to catch on. Personally, I think it's just going a little too far. But everything else that they're doing follows what everybody else is doing in reversing the connectors. So
The GPU thing would be cool if that was a thing. I don't know how the costs work for producing motherboards, but if that was like a budget or like lower or less expensive build type feature, I think I could see that. Because the cards that they would be using wouldn't require as much power, right? And it would simplify. I think it would be easier to get people in the door of DIY PC building if you made it almost like like the Intel NUCs that I talked about for a while, like the 2-slot ones, like how just dead easy it made it. Like I love seeing things like that because I think it demystifies the process. It makes it less stressful for people. You get them in the door. They learn that they love doing this. We have more new cool community members that we can talk to. Like I like stuff like that.
I mean, I think what's better than getting that power off that extra little connector is having the 12-volt high power or whatever, like on the flip side of the actual GPU itself. So it's the same kind of principle of like, hey, moving all the connectors to the back side. It doesn't always work, especially if you're going to put it like vertically. But yeah. Anyway, so Elena, what's your official pick?
So I was
list.
so enthusiastic about this pick. If I had to pick runners up, I would probably echo some of the other things that have been mentioned already from the three of you. But this is one of the rare cases where my heart was just like, boom, that's it. I don't need any others. And for me, that was the Airjet Mini. Seeing that in the video that you guys did with the Zotac, 'cause I used to cover mini PCs more regularly for PC World, and just seeing that I had the same sensation that Brad described about seeing the monitor just in the last segment, right? Where I was like, oh wow, like I cannot wait to see how that extrapolates out into other things. And I see where you're coming from, Adam, where you're saying that, like, yeah, this is probably most likely going to be more of a revolutionary thing for things like laptops and mini PCs, where it's getting that much cooling into a small amount of space is going to matter more than for something like a full, standard ATX DIY PC build, right? But I think that how it applies for even our audience is that I'm hoping that someday there's like an overlap between what we're seeing in something like the Zotac mini PC and like our mini ITX builds, right? Like how much smaller can we get that? Like could we get these into like, because you know how it's like, okay, well, I want to build a 5-liter PC, but I'm going to go up to like maybe 7 or 10 because like the amount of cooling I want for my desk, the CPU I chose just requires more space, or I want a little more airflow. I think I don't know what it looked like yet, but I like that the technology exists and that hopefully they're going to iterate on it so that we could start to see some very interesting like CPU cooler options down the road.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice.
I know. I agree. I see where your heart's coming from, Adam. We're mostly a desktop site, but to me, like Gordon said, that's the Airjet is changing 100 years worth of how we traditionally cool things. It's radical. It's new. It's super exciting. Who knows? Maybe it'll have an application in the desktop at some point. This is still the beginning of the ride for this. So,
Oh yeah.
to me, it's Airjet all the way.
And every time I talk to them, like the last time we talked was that video for the MacBook Air kind of thing. Like, I was going down expecting like, oh, okay, well, we've seen him put it in a laptop before. I'll talk to him and see what it is. But they actually like had to go back and think about the way that they implemented it versus some of those earlier laptop designs. So like that team is just always so excited exciting to talk to, and because they're just constantly thinking of new ways to implement it, and I mean it's no. Like the fact that we haven't seen it in more products, I don't think really falls on their side. I think it takes a lot to implement it in an actual shippable product kind of thing, and it just happened that the Zotac one was able to kind of spin up real quick.
Yeah, we just saw it at CES.
I do think we will
right?
see it.
We just saw CES was like the big coming out party for it. So
for AirJet,
yeah. Designing new products usually take longer than a year.
yeah. Especially something like as radical as, I mean, you're talking about redesigning like hardware to implement this system. So okay, I mean, I'm fine going with it. So
AirJet it is.
Then I think then the Full Nerd 2023 award for best innovation goes to Force Systems AirJet Mini. Congratulations to them.
Well
and
deserved.
with that, we have. Yeah, well deserved. More to come in the future, hopefully. I want to see it in handheld gaming devices. That's where I want to see it. I think a lot of people do. So that means we are at our final topic, which is the worst trend. I don't know what. I feel like every year we always end the show and we're like, man, why do we end with worst trend? Maybe we should put it like final. Yeah, like I had that thought again too earlier, and I was just like, whatever. All right, so we'll end on a downer. Worst trend, which I think once again over on the Discord, not to spoil it, but there was kind of a consensus, that popped up for the worst trend. But I think. Yeah, Brad, do you want to go first with your pick for worst trend?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of a rehash of kind of what we've done in past years. Last year's worst trend was pricing in general. Pricing is better this year. You can get, affordable parts if you don't mind shopping last-gen parts, which are still perfectly fine. But I think GPU value is what I'm going with. Yes, you can get last-gen parts for affordable bits, but just the value proposition of all sides of this lineup this year are all out of whack. Pandemic might play part of it. The rush for AI might be playing part for the high end now, but regardless, the 4060 Ti is a 1080p graphics card, and NVIDIA charges up to $500 for it, and that's insane, and yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's rough.
I called it. I'm gonna. Oh, you want me to go?
No, go for it. Go for it.
I called it the My Lucky Charms effect, which I'm really sick of, and it's the classic cereal. I don't know if people realize this. Most people don't, but there's this cereal. It's called Lucky Charms. Kids are always trying to get it, or somebody's trying to get it. Who's always asked for the Lucky Charms? Well, I'm really sick, like Brad, of the GPU market just always being just constant. It's just in a constant state of turmoil. And it's been like this now for, it feels like 7 years now, right? We've gone through crypto bust twice. We've gone through, the pandemic. And then now we're basically in the AI phase where same thing again, where it's just kind of messing everything up. And it just has screwed it up where they're always after my Lucky Charms. And I'm so sick of it. I don't know what to do about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cry about it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it could work out to be better for everybody because if you're going to give AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA boatloads of money off of AI, the trickle-down effects of that should still benefit our mere mortals that are using computers. And I think it will make things better overall. But in the meantime, it just kind of stinks,
Yeah, I mean, and it crops its head up in different ways. Like, some people in the chat or in the Discord chatter was talking about like the naming, like, hey, you're not really getting a big performance jump for the actual naming of the GPUs that are out there. Yeah, the lack of VRAM or cut down bus width. Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many different ways to slice it on the GPU side.
Yeah, like software kind of filling in some of the gaps rather than on like the hardware itself just completely trouncing the last generation.
Yeah. I will say in our Discord, a couple people pointed out worst trend is try hard drama content. on YouTube. I thought that was actually kind of funny. But I'll go with mine. I mean, like, I definitely. So mine is kind of a like I totally agree with the GPU stuff. And I'm on board if like that ends up being our thing. But like for me specifically, there was a lot of talk this year, and it feels like it really reached a fever pitch about the launch of PC games. Whether that's because they're leaning on software or perceived leaning on software because it was rushed to market because they didn't have enough time to optimize. I don't know. We spent a lot of time on the show this year talking about game launches and like the impact and why it went wrong and what it can be done about it and all that kind of stuff. So for me, like that is the worst trend that makes me real sad to see. Like I love PC gaming and I feel like it is always the superior form of gaming, but like to have anybody even point and be like, well, look at all these launches. They're launching real crappy. Why would I do that? It hurts my heart. I don't like that.
I tell you what, we'll have to hear what Elena has to say, but I switched my vote. I agree with you, Adam.
Wait, which one are you for? Which?
Just the sorry state of PC game launches.
Yeah, there were some real bad examples this year.
Really egregious.
The pricing's been the last few years, so I'm kind of over it, but this PC games launching like Bud is new, and I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it's not just the
Is it
GPU
really
pricing.
new?
Once again, it's the naming, it's the cutting down of bus width lanes, and all that kind of stuff. So GPUs in general are still in a crap spot. So yeah, I don't know if it's a new trend. I mean, to be fair, I guess the game launch thing is not a new trend either. I just feel like it's
definitely
kind of an
amplified
apex
this year. Yeah.
Elena, what's your pick?
So this is one where I actually had to pick or decide through a couple of different options. So one that sprang to mind, it was interesting because I did see a couple of people echo this in the Discord server chat. I haven't been a fan of seeing, I get why it's happening, the whole, I think, VC funding thing drying up, but like I think Reddit really encompassed this whole thing where it's like takeover of a service, just ignoring what the user base is saying that they want or how they use the service. And it's just like you have management come in and say like, this is not your toy, it's our toy. So get well, you know the word. I can't think of it.
We'll go with wrecked. We'll go with wrecked.
Yeah, get wrecked. Thanks. Get wrecked. And honestly, for me, it changed how I use Reddit. So it was a bummer because there were some communities on there that I liked being part of, but I also just really didn't like the tone of like how they approached it. So that's an unfortunate trend.
Between that and Twitter, it's been a bummer for my two preferred platforms.
Yeah, it's been real disappointing. The other thing that I want to be clear about this, it's the hype around AI that I also have not really enjoyed this year. As opposed to, like, I think AI is going to do some very interesting things for how we interact with tech and how we just go through the world. Like what it's like to live as a human. But I have not been impressed by how much hype there's been around certain products. I feel like it's basically like saying, like, I've got this cool idea. Let's treat it like it's a fully formed thing you can rely on. And a lot of times the hype for me has been focused in areas where it's actually very disappointing, and the areas where it's working out pretty cool are not getting the attention that it deserves. And so I'm just kind of over all of that. I'm kind of like a whole like wake me when it's like ready kind of thing, because I think it's coming to fruition. It's just not there yet, and I don't like eating like not ripened fruit yet. Let's put it that way. It's just not enjoyable for me. But the one I was going to vote for, because I think it's most applicable to what we cover on the Full Nerd, was the idea that specifically, like, we still have not seen really good options for sub $200 graphics cards. So, like, the whole state of graphics cards sucks, and we've covered that already just in the last 5 minutes of conversation. But specifically, I think for some people it might be like, okay, like, that's just how it's been, I'm over it. But for me, it's actually heightening my frustration with it, because, I mean, there's a reason why we can reasonably goad Gordon with the whole 1080 Ti thing. Like, if we were in a world where this was not happening, like, it'd just be something that would be weird to say. But honestly, at this point, if you can get a 1080 Ti used for $200 or less, like, that's probably your best bet, honestly. Like, used parts, used high-end parts are your best bet in that range. And I think that sucks. Because it makes it harder for people who are like not comfortable with doing used, who may not be in areas where they have a really robust used market, people who are building for the first time and just don't even know what they're supposed to be getting. So it's not an easy, like, okay, I just go out and I get this card for $200. Like, there's so many scenarios in that field that it annoys me.
Yeah. Maybe the best answer might be something like the frustrating state of PC gaming that encompasses all of these things. Because it seems like it's all one through trend line. Like, we're like, everything's cut down, everything's expensive, games ain't launching.
Things that make
Yeah.
PC gaming sad.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it is more around the GPU side, though.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, there are still good things about PC gaming, so I wouldn't call like all of PC gaming like down.
Yeah, and it is true what Brad said. You can get in Brelena, you can get an amazing performance. You just can't get the newest thing. And so, what's changed though is the access to the newest thing. So, and that pattern doesn't look like it's going to get any better again. You know, due to the AI freight.
Maybe new GPU value, kind of adding the word new ahead of what I had originally said.
Yeah.
And we can work all that in.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, is
I
this
mean,
more
'cause
the GPU thing, or is this more the lousy game launches? Is that kind of like what you're...
I'm okay with GPU because
Yeah.
I mean that is.
I'll
horrible.
mention them both in the written article.
Yeah.
Because part of the value, you pay a bunch.
It's a close second.
You pay a lot of money for these cards, and then a bunch of games don't launch. That makes the value even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
need to
guess
stop
for-
doing this one last next year.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a bummer.
Maybe we
Always
should
ends
put it
up
like
unhappy.
put it in the middle, right? So it's like not the it's not we're also not starting with the bummer, but like maybe it's a good like palate cleanser after we've like, because you usually fight pretty hard over CPU and sometimes GPU, so maybe that'll be a good like little. And then we can end on best innovation, which is an uplift.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
No,
innovation
I mean,
might. We
you're right.
just swap the worst trend.
I mean, honestly, I like new GPU value because, I think that's kind of to the heart of it specifically. The new GPU launches, which encompasses not only, price ranges, but also some of these new GPUs that actually launched. And value is definitely the key indicator here. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we feel good about it then, or we don't feel good about it, but
we feel.
are we in a consensus?
We accept it.
All right. Well, then 2023's worst trend, according to the Full Nerd Crew, is new GPU value.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Womp,
Yeah,
womp.
raspberry
Once
sound
again,
here.
we ended on a bad note.
On the plus side, if there's going to be any year for my house to burn down and all my graphics cards to get ruined, this was the year for it to happen. Because
worst trend is bad
Yeah.
life circumstances.
no,
Really.
no, like, okay, those all kind of sucked anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a fun episode. That was a good time. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks Gordon for joining us. I will say next week we will be doing our usual predictions wrap up episode, which will not only look at the predictions we made last year and eat our words. We will make new predictions next year. People over on Discord have started a new predictions thread in there, but once again, I will be basing my predictions off of your super chats. So save up your hard-earned pennies to
You can
to
basically
get those in.
buy discomfort for Adam.
Yeah, you can buy my. I have not thought about how I'm gonna punish myself this year, but yeah, and we will get Gordon involved. I think we have a fun way to hopefully get him involved on this as well. But he will not be joining us for the live stream. And then we're after that we got the holidays and
Woo.
then CES right around the corner. So
Double woo.
yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Brad, for joining. It looks like it's getting dark there where you're at. So
Yep. It's a long episode and it gets dark at 4:15 now. So
yeah, there you go. Thank you, Elena, for joining us. Of course, I like your sweater. And thank you to Gordon for joining us. Always glad to have you join us. So thank you. And I will bring up my notes. Check back next week for our final episode of the year of The Full Nerd. To listen to us on the go, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, Pocket Casts, anywhere that you can point your RSS feed to. We are hopefully there. And whatever services you are using, please leave us a review. Every time you do, Gordon gets a new onesie set for his family to match in. And yeah, I know some of the other ones they have, and it is fun that he gets to do that. So thanks again to everyone for joining. Thanks everyone who's going to be furiously writing in the comments about how our picks are horrible. And until then, we will see you until next week. Goodbye.